It was after Jenny passed away and I was going through my grief period that I really began to get interested in bas-relief. It's a way for me to explore materials and do a lot of experiments and getting into feelings I had as a child messing around. So this is the first one. So all this stuff here is scraps from my acrylic paint, you know, and there's always acrylic paint left over, so instead of throwing it in the garbage, what I do is I just make kind of paintballs, as I call them. But on this one, I used the scraps, and this is before, and also a plate, and I built it all up. And when I looked at it, I said, "Oh, this looks like a volcano." So I had used cellular clay a long time ago in art and mask making projects, and so I got some and began to work with it. I did a series last year of the 4 seasons, and this is spring. That's coming. Well, summer is warm, so I try to make that painting as warm as I can. But also, there's water, so I put that. People love water, so I put the blue in there for the water. This is autumn, and you can see there are different techniques. This is actually a flat painting, but I've made the bas-relief so it's framing it. The colors of winter, which are, the cold blues, as opposed to the center that is how you stay warm. You have to have heat. So in 1967, I was in San Francisco State, finishing up my master's degree, and I was involved in a love affair that fell apart, and I was very upset. So for some reason, I was doing a lot of drawing. I started drawing circles, and I kind of knew about the mandala. And then in 1968, I finally got together with Jenny, and I showed her my drawings, and she gave me the book Memories, Dreams, and Reflections by Carl Jung. And in this book he talks about working as a doctor during World War II, fixing up German soldiers who were hurt and injured, and then in the evening, because he knew something about Buddhism, to kind of center himself, because his work was so difficult, he began to do mandalas every day. And I realized that's what I was doing. And so that's when I decided to start painting mandalas. Further down the road, many years later, I was at this conference of the Society of Layerists in Multimedia, and I met this woman from Texas who was an artist, and she said, I like to hang out with people who are off-center. And I told her, wow, I've been off-center all my life. Maybe that's why I'm doing mandalas, to get back on center. I just enjoy bouncing back and forth between 2 different ways of working. One is very analytical, and there has to be a lot of thought, a lot of meditation in it, and that's doing the mandalas. But the other one, and especially when I do these little tableaus, they are very spontaneous, and they're kind of goofy, and I have a lot of fun with them. So it's going back and forth, and The reason I did this painting was working with Kurt Goldberg on my filmmaker, and he's a real tech guy, and he said, I'm going to send you some stuff and I want you to put it in the Dropbox. And I said, what's a Dropbox? And he explained it to me, and then I got a Dropbox, and then I just thought, why do I have to do all this stuff? This is my problem with technology. Why do I have to do this? Anyway, then when I was fooling around, I just started fooling around, and I had all these wood scraps left over from when I work with wood. There's always lots of stuff left over, and there's a lot of these popsicle sticks around we had in the studio for kids to work with. So I just put this thing together, and once it was together, then I thought about the thing about the Dropbox and the algorithms and AI and all this stuff that I know about but have no real interest in, and so so that's what I called it. This is the most recent one, and I'm calling it the 3 Mediterranean goddesses, and they represent goddesses from places I have visited. So one is Iberia, that's for Spain, Malta, which that's the first time I really got interested in goddesses, because they have lots of goddesses there. And then this is, of course, Egypt, which I visited. Three Greats was Barbie. Well, last year, it was that movie Barbie, which I saw, and it was kind of a satire on Barbie, actually. And I sort of saw, after I saw that movie, I was inspired to do something about Barbie. Period of grief I went through, I started to do these face masks of myself, and then I wanted to do something, make them a presentation. So the Green Man was the first one that I actually put in a little box. It was the intense grief time when the mask was made. It was a plaster bandage mask of my face, and I meditated and stared, and it said to me, I am the Green Man. And I realized now that that event is when I began to get back control of my life. So that was the impetus to just start making these little boxes and putting the masks in. This is an actual plaster bandage that was done on my face about 53 years ago. This is a latex rubber mask that was comes out of this cast, and I could use this to do a plaster bandage mask on it, and then I usually put a paper mache on the top. These four, three of them are people in the past. They were Jewish, and they were kind of outliers, although they each had a unique thing to say. And the last one is actually my ancestor, my Sephardic ancestor, I call him. did this one. When it was over, I looked at it. It was kind of funny, and it was kind of crude, you know. And I realized it released something in me that was telling me, oh, you have to make everything look real and academic, you know. And that's not me. When I was a student taking figure drawing, everything came out like a cartoon. And at first I was kind of beating myself up. Why can't I do this like everybody else and be a good illustrator? But then I realized, hey, I'm a cartoonist. I'm not an illustrator, so I just say, I'm gonna go with it. And this one is really the beginning of letting myself just have a good time. And if it's distorted, if it's ugly, you know, so what? Oh, the muse is a person I'm very fond of, and I asked her to let you make a mask of her, and she did. And then I got a photograph of her, and I just worked from that. You know, it's not going to look like you. And she said, I wouldn't expect it out of you.